Yep, it's that time again. Free speech is under attack, and this time it settles on Sargon of Akkad, who is hosting a live debate with Dr. Yaron Brook in London. Once again, Antifa prove themselves to be the best medium for change by smashing windows, committing assault, screaming obscenities, setting off gas bombs, and most damaging of all, leaving threatening notes to a moderator. I have some footage of this here.
Fuck off!
Nothing screams maturity like breaking into a university. So anti-fascist protesters forced their way into KCL lecture hall, grabbed the microphones and then smashed all the windows and threatened a moderator. King's Libertarian Society had to call off the event and evacuate the building. Masked thugs invaded a talk organised by a University Free Speech Society last night before setting off smoke bombs and attacking security guards. The self-proclaimed anti-fascist protesters forced their way into King's College London lecture hall and grabbed the microphones before smashing windows. Several security guards were punched and had to go to hospital, according to the organisers, who were forced to evacuate. Footage showed fights breaking out between protesters and members of the audience, with several punches being thrown. Tristan Teller, 33, who was waiting outside the hall when the gang vaulted the barriers, described the moment the mob launched an unprovoked attack on security guards. 10 to 15 people dressed all in black with black hoods and black face masks leapt over the barriers and instantly engaged in a fight with 2 or 3 security guards, he said. They tried to stop them, but they just started punching them in the face. One guard, a grey-haired gentleman who looked to be around 60, received several punches. Wow. You have to be such a big man to go across a barrier with 15 of your mates and punch a 60-year-old man in the face. Last night's event was organised by the KCL Libertarian Society and featured Ayn Rand Institute Director Dr. Yaron Brook, alongside controversial YouTube personality Sargon of Akkad, real name Carl Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin identifies as a classic liberal, but has been branded by critics as a member of the alt-right. To be perfectly honest, whenever I read the phrase branded by critics, all it does is tell me that the writer of the article hasn't done their research. If you can't spend enough time to look past the headlines at what the man actually does, including all of his debates, arguments, and disagreements with the alt-right, then you shouldn't be writing an article on it. Journalistic integrity is a bigger problem than many realise. The polls showing how trust in national media is now just under a third should have woken outlets up, but apparently not. We just get The Guardian rebranding as a tabloid. War studies student Ebel Miller, I hope I'm saying that right, 21, who watched the chaos unfold, told Mail Online, "The protesters hospitalised. Hospitalised." When will the UK government wake up in the manner of the US and brand Antifa as a domestic terrorist group? Property damage, thuggish behaviour, and coordinated attacks designed to incite fear. Is this ticking boxes for anyone else here? The protesters hospitalised several university security guards, smashed the window of a Grade 1 listed building, a Listen building apparently, there's that grammatical integrity and purism that's missing here too, and threw smoke bombs. It only proves they are incapable of persuading anyone to their side through reasoned discourse. KCL Student Union ordered the Libertarian Society to reschedule last night's talk from March 4th, because they claimed security could not be guaranteed on a weekend. And on the night itself, KCLSU officials prevented non-student members of the public who had previously booked tickets from entering for security reasons. It almost sounds like they knew it was coming. I'm not accusing them of anything, but that's exactly what it sounds like. Aside from this just being blatant censorship by the KCL to the general public, they didn't even provide enough security to handle this. The Libertarian Society, which campaigns against the union's safe space policy, criticised the hard-left protesters, well at least they did that, and student officials for the violence. After refusing entry to ticketed members of the public for safety reasons, the KCL and KCLSU administration failed to prevent violent masked activists storming the stage and the university at tonight's event, it said in a statement. Windows were smashed and gas bombs lit outside campus. A number of KCL security guards were on their way to hospital after being assaulted. The event was cancelled and evacuated after threats to the moderator. This was an act of violence, a clear act of violence if ever there was one, clearly intended to silence Yaron and Sargon's planned debate via a series of jackbooted totalitarian tactics that unfortunately proved successful tonight. It's almost as if Antifa are using the same tactics as those they purport to stop, which makes them, if not worse, at least as bad. A number of threatening notes were left by protesters who waved an anti-fascist flag. Funny story about that flag, it actually got taken off the protesters, and there are photos going around online of Sargon waving it about as a trophy on stage once they were dispersed. One read, "The guy moderating the talk is on my course and he'll have a difficult time once the strike is over." We'll see if anything comes of that, but difficult time is clearly a threat. The Metropolitan Police confirmed they had attended the event, but said its officers had not heard of any injuries. Police were called at 6:50 p.m. on Monday, the 5th of March, to reports of a disruption, a spokesman said. A couple of people are believed to have forced their way into a building and set off fire alarms and a smoke bomb. The group had dispersed by the time police arrived. There's the Tory cuts in full glory there. There have been no reported injuries, no arrests, and inquiries continue. They sent people to hospital. How are there no reported injuries? KCLSU was widely criticised last year after Mail Online revealed its safe space marshals were paid £12 an hour to police talks deemed risky by officials. We don't have the KGB here, we have the KCL-UGB. Those of us with thick skins aren't going to be put off. But imagine if you're a student and you know that there's a regulatory body behind you in the row who's going to report you if you say anything controversial. I suppose we should be grateful they were going to let the event happen at all, but this is barbaric overkill when all that's being discussed is ideas. The officials are also required to put up posters saying, "This is a safe space," and record any instances of offensive behaviour reported to them by members of the audience. They monitor any speaker thought likely to perpetrate a safe space breach, which included Tory MP Jacob Rees-Mogg, who was watched by 3 marshals. You don't even need 1 marshal, you must have 3, because clearly an older man in a suit is clearly going to cause a lot of dissident problems. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if possible, consider subscribing for more content. I'm currently working on a video about the Liberal representation, or lack thereof, in the UK, and a comprehensive breakdown of the gender wage gap. So if that sort of thing interests you, then please hit like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. Thank you.